Today I'm painting in watercolour in Tayasui Sketches. Hi everyone, Steve Elliott here again in my Tayasui Sketchbook. The more I use this app, the more I'm getting to like the watercolour brushes. So I thought I would sort of keep the sketching down to a minimum and do some more of the watercolours, a little bit like I did with the Robin really. I'm just fascinated how the watercolours work in this app. And I'm beginning to think it's probably one of the best apps out there for the natural looking watercolours that it produces. They really do look really, really nice, but only in a particular style, in this sort of very delicate light wash style, not so much a sort of a full-blown wet in wet watercolour. I don't think they're particularly brilliant for that, but for this sort of adding glazes and painting glazes one on top of the other, it's absolutely superb. So as you can see, I'm working on a sort of a quick sketch that I'm going to start painting in very soon. This painting is a copy actually. I used to go to an art shop 25 years ago, and it was just a little shop in a little market town called Long Eaton. And the owner of that shop's name was Carol George. And I spent many an hour in there. I was sort of buying, papers, looking at all this. They had all the watercolour papers you can imagine. Archers, Fabriano, Waterford, Bockingford, just loads and loads and loads. And this was before the internet was around, so to find an art store where you could just go in and get anything. And it was only a tiny shop. It wasn't a big shop. It was really cool. And I used to rent videos from there to watch sort of other watercolour painters, because that was what I was really into, was watercolours. Anyway, I bought this print off her of a painting that she did, and I sort of had it hanging on the wall for quite a long time. And then it kind of got put away and was lost in a cupboard. And I was clearing out this cupboard the other day and found this print. And I thought that would be really nice to try in Tayasui Sketches, just to see if I can get anything close. I've not put the original painting up because I don't want to infringe Carol's copyright, really. So trust me, it's really close. I was really pleased with the effect. And I'm just using, I used two of the watercolour brushes, the very smallest one, which is the top one, and then one of the rounder shaped ones. And I was just changing the size and the opacity to get the effects I wanted. And every now and again, it sort of, Tayasui blobs in sort of where a smudge has happened, or a blob of paint has hit the canvas. And, if I didn't like them, I would just sort of hit the back key and remove them. And now I'm sort of putting in a little bit of detail. And I just think it is so realistic. It's so cool. So it's just a little life study of a nice little watercolour that just looks really, really delicate. And I think for that being a digital painting, it would be really odd for people to know that it's not a painting. I think it's just so authentic to a watercolour where you're sort of working on a nice dry paper and maybe wetting areas of it and blobbing some colours in, and then glazing over the top of that. It just looks so natural. I really like it. The only thing I've got an issue with is the way that you pick the colours from Tayasui. You got this kind of limited palette, and I've not really explored that too much. I suppose it's a little bit like having a palette of colours in front of you, actually. So I suppose it's very similar to using a watercolour palette, except you can't mix the colours together. Well, you can mix them on the paper, which is quite nice. So sort of I'm putting this purple on now, and then probably go over it with a bit of green, and sort of drop that into it, and I'm actually using the blending stump now just to soften off some of the edges on there. So that was another tool I used, the blending stump, which was really, really effective as well. So as you can see, it is impressionistic. There's no, you won't be able to say what those flowers were at all. That's not what it's about, and neither was the original painting. There was just very loose marks. Loved it. This just went so well. This old painting, start to finish, took around 20 minutes. So not too long. It was just a quick study. I had the painting sat in front of me, propped up against the wall, and I just sat there and painted this in. Now, I didn't like this. I undid that background because I wanted to keep like the table top nice and clean. So I went back and undid it and then repainted it in. So that is it. That is my copy of Carol George's Still Life. I hope you've liked this video. If you have, a big thumbs up, as always, is much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I have lots and lots and lots of videos like this, and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.